points on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Fingers to the down, hold it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first thing is first. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, that is when we are getting the Fed 2:30. That is the press conference with Jerome Powell. They are most likely going to be raising rates. So tomorrow could start off a new cycle. But given everything that is going on right now, I want to talk about something else and the crash in China markets. I just want to show you a cool little fun fact. I mean, even Uncle has talked about this, a lot of people, so I thought it'd be good, and I got clapped today. So I'm going to give you a quick mini watch list. I'm going to just start with the plays. We're going to talk about the main things tomorrow for Powell, and then I'm going to go and show you this little neat trick, especially if you are seeing the volatility or you're worried about what is going on overseas. So right off the bat, like we said, it has to do with Powell tomorrow, and the main things we are going to be looking for, first and foremost, if they raise rates, that is expected a quarter point. So we will see what happens. But now anything he says for balance sheet reduction, that is the big point, and that could surprise the market. Anything about economic projections, and then the Fed dot plot, we'll get to see where everybody in the Fed has placed their predictions for this year. Those are the main points. So it's kind of good how everything played out today, because we talked about it with there being a big option expiration on Friday. I'm not really expecting too big of a move, but what I'm trying to say is that we should have time to interpret it, and depending on how we interpret it, I think by Friday and next week it'll be one of those one-day chill out, and then by next week with everything else, we will see what happens. But obviously the X factor is going to be what goes on with Russia and Ukraine and all of that. So that's the quick one. We're going to be live tomorrow, youtube.com/the stack market. So we will see you there and be doing it live. But now as far as the plays, the ones that I made today are very simple. I grabbed a JP Morgan April 140 call. I grabbed one of them for about $215, and then I grabbed an April Wells Fargo 60 call, and I bought 3 of them for about 20 cents a pop, spent about $60. So this one was big, this one was small, but I started with the Wells Fargo in the morning, and then by end of close today, that's when I decided to go with the 140. And the whole logic here, it is all related to the rates tomorrow. Again, beginning of this year, you did watch an inverse between like TLT and XLF. Again, the rates started coming down, bank stocks did good. So depending on what happens, we will find out with that tomorrow. We did talk about it today. Ask me about it tomorrow, but we will be watching to see if after the Fed we get some level of yield curve inversion. That will be a big thing to watch. So that's pretty much the quick one. I will be watching corn and wheat too, with depending on how they move in. And again, commodities today, the fact that they came down, like we were talking about earlier, we said it, commodities are really high into Powell. It makes it trickier. So it could be a little calmer given the fact that everything chilled out, but still watching wheat, corn, all of that. That wheat play still up 400 or 500%, and we are just waiting it out. And I did make a mini corn futures trade, but we will talk about that. But now this is what I want you to see. It is so simple, and we need to talk about China stocks crashing. And I'm not talking about the China stocks, the ADRs in our stock market. I am talking about the Shanghai Composite. Yes, there's been a lot of things going on and why they've been dropping. One, they've been talking about more crackdowns. Remember how everything is played out with Alibaba, the Golden Dragon Index. They had all those crackdowns, social prosperity, all of this stuff. But recently, there has been a very, very big drop. It is almost comparable to one of the 2018 drops. But the main point here is very, very simple. China stocks will lead a crash, or we are going to roll with them. It's very simple. It is going to either be a leading indicator, or if they make a big enough move, this is another divergence you need to watch. I don't know if you've watched any of my old videos, but if oil goes crazy, I mean, I'm looking at everything from divergence on Shanghai Composite with oil down to the S&P and all of that. But this is very simple. All you need to understand is that the Chinese markets have the potential to lead. And ever since 2015, we've seen that big, but it plays out a couple of times a little bit different. So what I'm trying to show you here, this recent drop, this is huge. This is almost like 30%. And even just in the beginning of this month of March, they've already dropped about 20%. But you can see here, we did see a big reaction there with some of the China stocks. Again, China had a huge drop before any market crash in 2020. Our market was hitting all-time highs in 2020, and then China started freaking out. They bounced up again, and then as everybody came down, everything dropped. And then you could kind of see, kind of looks like our market there, but that's not the main thing I'm trying to show you, because now here was a one time, it was a lagging indicator. But again, the China market can lead a crash. And and you could see it 2018, the whole beginning of the year. I'm telling you, for like 6 to 9 months straight. Actually, no, I think it was about 11 months or 10. We didn't start tripping out in 2018 till October. And again, you've heard a lot of taper tantrum comments about 2018. Again, it was a very similar situation, and ironically, it was also Powell, but the Chinese markets led the way. And this is now one thing I want you to pay attention to. Just because I'm saying it leads the way, it does not mean that it has to follow along. And that's why I'm saying over the next few months now, this is triggering a danger zone. You need to keep watch, because depending on how it plays out, it could start to set off some dominoes. But it took the whole year of 2018, the S&P diverged, and then eventually by the end of 2018, our markets were down 20%, just as the Chinese markets were selling off 30, 40, and all of that. So those are just two examples right there. But even if we go back in time, it doesn't really look good on that chart. But same thing even happened on 2015. But 2015, it was an 8-month delay of the Chinese Shanghai Composite dropping about 50%. Everybody in the U.S. ignored it. This was one of the trades I did. It was like $2,000 into about $250,000. It was wild, but it was because a lot of people ignored it. And then finally at September, August over there, the market and everybody globally caught up to it. Things dropped, and then it bounced again. And then the immediate drop in China, there was also another test of the lows in January 2016 on the S&P. But pretty much over the last couple years, this is a very unmistakable correlation. You could see it out there, especially with how much we've gone over it. It is important, and this is why I was like, all right, with how things played out today, I think this is a good video to give you guys, and especially after Powell, especially after this week, I think a lot of things, we're going to really see how things play out. Again, don't forget the whole crisis in Ukraine and all that, so get ready for it. I hope this helps you, but I really hope you never forget this, and you might want to start looking at the Shanghai Composite and get that in one of your scanners, or keep that up on one of your charts, okay, baby? But I hope you enjoy it. I love you, Chad. I'll see you in the morning, and God, oh, bless you. So I'm getting clapped, bro. I'm clapped, but it's okay. God is good.